All right. Training camp. Days away. Well, a day away. I'm recording this Monday, July 21st. A report on the 22nd. And the official training camp will start on July 23rd on Wednesday. And so I have my list. I'm going to do offense, defense, special teams. We'll do a whole group of things and everything. So we're going to break it down, this and that for camp and everything. And what we're going to see, what I want to see in training camp, you know, from what I'm going to see from reporters and stuff like that, the local reporters and nationwide. And yet, you know, HBO Max will be there for Hard Knocks. As we all know, that won't air until August 5th. I think that's a Tuesday. So, if I remember correctly. So, and everything. So, we'll be do that. I will do a reaction of it. I'm going to watch it and then I'll react to it. And I'll let you guys know how I feel and everything like that. So, we'll start with quarterbacks right now. You know, Josh Allen, Trubisky, White, and Buechele. Shane Buechele and everything. Allen, obviously, he's going to be the roster. So I have what I have right now who's going to really make the roster, and then everybody else will battle it out. Your backups, special teams, depending on position they are in, and everything like that. So Josh Allen, Trubisky, White, and Buechele, and does Buechele have an outside chance of making a roster? No, but I think he's going to be a practice squad guy. Um, White has an outside chance to be a backup to Allen. Um, you know, what if we had to put a percentage, maybe 30% chance of getting it? So Trubisky, you know, it's probably going to be Josh Allen 1, Trubisky number 2. But White would definitely be the third quarterback emergency. Very class emergency kind of guy. So he'll be dressed there, but he's going to be your number 3 guy for sure. Unless Buechele beats out White, you know, um, which could happen. You never know. So to me, that with that and everything, you know, Sal Capaccio and Matt Rouvet, they were talking about it on Always Game Day in Buffalo on their podcast and everything. So, and it's an outside chance. I give it 30% chance of White could be back up to Josh Allen. But Trubisky, I think it's probably going to be the guy, number 2 guy and everything. Running backs, Cook, Davis, Johnson, Gillian, Evans, and Frank Gore Jr. Did I put that in there? Did I put the juniors? But Cook is going to be interesting. Is he going to want his money and everything? So we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll come back to that. Cook, Davis, Johnson, Gillian, and Evans, and Frank Gore. Gillian is your running back / fullback / tight end. He's the extra big guy and everything. And, like they do with the linemen and stuff like that, for the tush push or set up the tush push to fake the tush push and end up running it or, just let Gillian pound it in there. So Cook and Davis, Johnson, 3 guys are going to be like that. Gillian's going to be there. He's going to be like the 3rd or 4th tight end on the Bills roster. So I got him down in there as guy that's on the roster. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys already on offense out of the 53-man roster. Once we, know that, but we'll start cuttings and everything. And with Cook, is he going to show up? We'll know tomorrow. he's going to show up because everybody shows up to start training camp and everything. So we'll know that right away. So we'll know right away if Cook will show up because there'll be people there taking those photos, and as they walk in with their families and loved ones and kids and everything else. So um, we'll see. And is he the type of guy that Bills could spend $10 to $12 million easily? I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna pay him. Just a question of when. Do they do it before the season starts, during training camp, right before the season starts, as the season progresses? Stuff like that, or they wait till the season's over and then but hey, before officially contract ends, hey, we'll give you $12.5 million. You know, it's not 15, but it's this. Or whatever the case may be. I think they're looking at 10 to 12 million, maybe 13 tops for Cook, but Brandon Bean could maneuver stuff around. Plus, there'll be money somewhere when they do cuts. Certain guys, um, McGovern contract, we could probably work around and stuff like that. But when we get to the offense, or the offensive line and stuff like that, we'll talk about that and everything. But Gillian, he's a running back, tight end, and fullback. Is but he's going to make the roster. I 100% believe that and everything. So now we get to the wide receivers. That's going to be interesting. Totally interesting to do. So Shakir, Coleman, Palmer, Samuel, Moore are your other guys. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm up to 11 right now of people on the roster. That's just offense right now, so but we'll see. Special teams are when you mix offense and defense. Obviously, you know that. Let's go back to the running backs real quick before we move on to the wide receivers. Evans and Foinkor are going to be your practice squad guys, as long as nobody claims them or anything. But I could see them, being our practice squad guy. And you never know. This could be the year he steps up beyond that and be like, wow. Maybe gets on the roster as a special teamer. So you never know. We'll have to wait and see that. But all right, back to the wide receivers. Shakir, Coleman, Palmer, Samuel Moore are your other guys. Then after that, you got Shavers, Virgil, Hamler, Panther, Wilkerson, Jerry Gosnell, and Chanel as the other wide receivers. And we know Shakir, Coleman, Palmer, Samuel, and Moore are going to make the roster. I think, Moore, you never know, but Shavers, could he make it? I don't know. Virgil, I don't know. Hamler, could be, maybe. But they're keeping 5 guys as wide receivers, possibly 5 guys. We got 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs, 2 quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So, do they keep 5 or do they keep 4 like they have before? And then it comes down to Samuel or Moore for that spot. I see a role for Shakir, obviously. Coleman, I think he's going to step up this year. You know, especially in training camp, he's really going to prove what you know. Yes, last year sucked for him, and I think he said that himself. Samuel, we'll see, and then more. I'd like to see those two. I think they're going to battle out for the last spot unless they keep five. Then you know, the, the other guys below them could try to take over and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see with that and everything. So hopefully we get all that and everything. All right, tight ends. Obviously, Kincaid, Knox, Hawkins, Davidson, and Lua. And we know Kincaid and Knox, number one, number two. And then you put in Gillingham in there, probably as your third tight end. Unless, they want to keep another tight end, which these guys could be practice squad guys, or if they're on the roster, that means that special teams. So you can't rule that out as well and stuff like that. Now, this is all speculation right now until training camp officially starts, and we get to see photos and videos and stuff like that, more of that and everything. So hopefully you guys will, see that and everything. So, stay tuned, hit like, subscribe to this channel. The Miller Show. If you're listening to the audio, Apple and Spotify, please rate and review. All right, so offensive lineman. Green, Bayer, Van Granger, Reimer, Torrance, Edwards, McGovern, Clayton. They got a lot of guys in alignments. Gilbert, Anderson, Dawkins, Vandermark, Garage, Edwards, Lewin, and Brown. Brown is in here, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 guys on the offensive line plus the 2. So 18. There'll be 20 guys right now out of 53 on the roster, and that's the offense right there. So, Van Granger, I have making it. Obviously, Torrance is making it. Edwards is making it. McGovern is making it. Dawkins, obviously. Vandermark, I could see making it. And then I have Brown making it. So those are your guys on the roster. Everybody else is going to fight for backups, So between right tackle, guard, left tackle, and everything. So they're going to be backup. Reimer, I could see making the team. He's, maybe, putting that in here so I remember for later. My notes, I got notes I've written down and everything. Reimer, I could see making it. Gable making it. Is a possibility as a backup. So to me, we know those main guys that I read earlier are going to make the roster, and we all know that. So we end up with 20 so far on offense. So we'll go from there and everything. So my throat's a little dry. Excuse me, guys. Got my Bills cup right here. As we can see. All right. Now defense. For the Bills defense, edge rushers, Greg Rousseau, Harris, Hoyt, Solomon, AJ Espinosa, Schrander, and Jackson, and Bosa. Now, Hoyt is the 6-game suspension. So he's going to make the roster because he's making, what was it, 8? Was it Hoyt? Hoyt and the other guy. Can't think of his name right now. But Hoyt, I think, is the 3-year deal, $21 million. So, and the other one is $8.3 million on a 1-year deal. Both have 6-game suspensions. They can all the way up until game time. So that's going to free up technically another roster spot. So I have Russo, Hoyt, AJ Espinosa, London Jackson, and Bosa. And I want to see London Jackson, see what he could do. And can he step up? I think he's going to. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys right there on the roster. So, so now we're up to 25, but technically we're at 24 because Hoyt is at a 6-game suspension and he's not available till Bill's bye week. So they'll play the Panthers. Right after the Panthers, we play Kansas City. So that's a good game for the Hoyt and the other guy. Oh my God, I can't think of his name. But so with all that and everything, so technically we're 24. He's on the roster, and unless it goes real bad and they have to cut him, which will save money and it could help James Cook and that way and everything else. So, but I don't know what the penalty costs and stuff like that. But I am looking forward to London Jackson to see what what he could do and stuff like that. So, hopefully we can get that going, and Bosa just keep him safe, bubble him up, bubble wrap him, and ship him off to the playoffs. So with that and everything. All right. Defensive tackles. Rogers, Barnett, Epps, Carter, Oliver, Lugo, Walker, TJ Sanders, Larry Ojabi, I believe it's how you pronounce it. Oh, that was the other guy. He got 6 games, and he makes $8.3 million. So he's on the roster as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, another 4. So that's 29 minus 2 guys, so at 27 guys total. So I'm gonna write this down here. So guys, that's what I do. So hit link, subscribe. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Ogun. Larry O. We'll call him Larry O. Larry O. Miss O. Miss O. You got a thing for Miss O? Or Mr. O? Men in Black 3. Sorry, guys. But he's going to make the roster. Sanders is making the roster. Oliver, Carter, Rogers could make it too as a defensive tackle. So, he is a maybe for the Buffalo Bills. So, as the backup and fill in, and then once those guys come back, they'll have to figure out who's going to be on the roster, who gets cut, and then, brought back for the practice squad and, stuff like that. Right now it's, hey, you go wait in the parking lot and we'll get you back here. Just give me give me a few minutes. So all the teams do that and everything like that. Um, so I'm not worried about that. Hopefully, they'll be good and we'll be set with that and everything. And we can see some battles, on the defense tackles, edge rushers, and stuff like that. When we get to corners and safeties, we're going to get to there in a minute. Linebackers. Bernard, Williams, Joe Andreessen, Buffalo Joe, Ilvaso, Jenkins, Spector, and Matt Milano. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that one. So 30, 32. Sorry. I'm at we're at 27. So we're at 32 now out of the 53-man roster. And we got Benford, Williams, Joe Andreessen, Eddie Silfoso, and Matt Milano making it. Now, Jenkins and Spector are probably going to make it as backups. And if they come as backups, we're adding more to the roster already. But that's maybe they'll be practice squad. Maybe, it's not a big depth, but we never know. So inside linebacker, outside linebacker, and everything, middle linebacker. So we'll have to wait and see what happens to that. All right, now for the big one, battles we're going to see between safeties and corners. So, all right, Hamilton, Johnson, Rapp, Jackson, Bishop, Hardy, White, Forrest, Conjure, Owens, Harrison, Couch, Hancock, Porter, Strong, Ingram, Benford, Lewis are your corners. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we're at the 39 out of the 53. So we need 14 more.
You done? Are you done or
I'm doing it right now.
oh,
That's all right. My wife asking me questions. So we're up to 39. Lewis, Benford. Benford's going to make it, I think. So scratch that. So we're at 40. So 13 more to go and on the roster. Now, corners and safeties are a little different. So Johnson's going to make it, Rapp, Jackson, and Bishop. Now, Johnson and Jackson are your corners and nickelbacks. Terry Johnson, obviously, your nickelback corner and stuff like that. And we know Hamlin and Rapp and Bishop are your safeties, strong safety, free safeties, and everything. So we know that and everything. So, would it shock? Let's put this way: would it shock you if Damar Hamlin does not make the roster this year for the Buffalo Bills? If you get cut, so you cut yourself out of here. Would I be shocked? A little bit, teach you a little bit and everything, So, but I don't have him down as a guy that's a roster. I think it's going to be Rapp and Bishop as your starters, safeties. As far as we're going to Johnson's obviously corners. Jaron Johnson's obviously Jackson's in is your corner. White could be. He's the starter now going in to training camp. Trey White. Love the guy and everything. I almost bought his jersey. Um, I know he's back and everything, but I got Josh Allen. I know it was between him and Bruce Smith, and I chose Bruce Smith because I know he was a legend and this and that, and he went to Washington and everything. So, but Bruce Smith is our guy, and it always will be. White will be he's the same way, but hopefully, you know, could he be a backup? Sure, on the roster and everything. So, but it's his job to lose right now, and we'll have to wait and see what happens in training camp and everything. Codrington could make the roster as a backup. Forrest could make it as a replacement to damar Hamlin. damar Hamlin played pretty good. There was times where, like, man, you're afraid to go up there and hit the guy. And then there was times where balls to the walls, and he just went in for it and everything. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. Forrest could make it. Um, Hardy could make it as well. Hardy, you know, as a backup, but you never know. Couch, he's probably your practice squad. Maxwell Harrison, I like to see what he's got. Can he beat out White for that starting job? That's the question. So can he do that and everything? So can Max Harrison beat out White, or can White beat out Max Harrison? So it's veteran versus rookie. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Hancock, I want to see. Um, he's the 5th-round pick. So I like to see what he's got. Maybe the late round and everything, but Strong could be. He's a 6th-rounder. Never know what happens with 6th-rounders. I mean, they sometimes make big things, 6th-rounders, 7th-rounders, and stuff like that. So hopefully they can. Porter Jr., practice squad. Talked about Strong. Ingram, probably, Bedford is going to be there. Lewis, he's also could be your safety backup too. So Lewis is like your corner slash strong safety or slash free safety. So you never know with that and everything. So hopefully that can go well. So that's your offense, defense, and now special teams. Tyler Bass is your kicker. We're going into one. We are having 2 punters. Neither have played in the Buffalo Bills or anything like that. Kendron and Roberts, both, going to be battling out for the punter for the Buffalo Bills. And we know Reed Ferguson, he's your long snapper. He's your guy. You go wait in the parking lot. And, and if you want a job in the NFL, be a long snapper. I heard tons of people saying that's the position you're guaranteed a roster spot, and you're going to make decent money. You know what I mean? You're guaranteed a spot. You're going to cut, then bring it back, and there it is. Good. We got a practice squad guys. We got 10, 11 guys on the practice squad, and then you got your 15-man roster, and you're on the roster because you're the long snapper for the kicker and punter and everything. So what a job. Long snapper is the way to go. Guaranteed the job. Anywhere, especially if you're good at it. You're really good. He'll pay you pretty decent, So, and that's where you go. I'm interested to see what Buffalo Joe could do this year, too. So, with the special teams, your corners, your wide receivers, your defensive tackles, your edge rushers, your linebackers, your offensive linemen playing special teams and stuff like that, blockers and stuff like that. So hopefully we can get that going. Um, so I'm looking forward to that this year. See what the battle could be out in training camp. Uh, so the other thing I want to talk about real quick is that numbers. I didn't know this. But just came across it. I didn't look it up or anything, but I came across. So for the Bills, numbers not taken yet is 12, 16, 34, 36, 45, 51, 60, 78, and 95. Now 12, 78, and 95 are legendaries. Kyle Williams, 95. Bruce Smith, I have his jersey. Jim Kelly, I had his, but somebody stole it. I'm kind of still upset about that because I got it at a bargain deal. So, and Thurman Thomas. So you got Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith, and Kyle Williams numbers are available. Here are the numbers that are permitted from each position group. Quarterbacks, it can wear from 0 to 19. Running backs, fullbacks, and halfbacks, which is the last, so I wrote it down. 0 to 49, 80 to 99. Wide receivers, 0 to 49 and 80 to 99. Tight ends, same thing. 0 to 49 and 80 to 99. Offensive linemen, 50 to 79 they could wear. Defensive linemen, 50 to 79 and 90 to 99. Defensive backs, 0 to 49. And special teams, 0 to 49 and 90 to 99. So, for the Buffalo, it's weird that they can wear that only 19, as a number as a quarterback or running back, wide receivers, all those positions. So, so what do we end up with? 41. Yeah. 41 out of 53 on the roster. And then I guess some maybes and stuff like that. Plus, you got backups that got to be in there and everything. So, they go from 90, but you got a certain time. You go from 90 to this, and then it drops down to that, and then you're at 53 as of right now. So that's what I have. We'll do more and stuff like that. Who's battling it out and what positions, and when camp starts this week and everything on Wednesday. So stay tuned and hit like, subscribe to the channel, and rate and review if you listen to Apple or Spotify and wherever you pod. So suspension for 6 weeks, so to fit the players to make the roster and everything. And who will make the roster this season? Who's going to really rattle it out? So I'm going to look for it during this training camp and everything. Is who's going to be the punt returner, the kickoff returners? They have 2 of those. They'll have 1 punt returner, 2 kickoff returners. So I'm looking to see who's going to be that. But the corners and safeties is what I'm really looking at. See what White could do, Harrison could do, and everything. So I'm interested to see what's going on. And then wide receiver battles a little bit. But defense is more. I'm more focused on the defense right now. Our defensive line, our edge rushers, and everything. quarterbacks back in the backup quarterback battle. Is another thing to look forward to. What will be the biggest story this year in training camp? Damar Hamlin getting cut. James Cook not showing up. Stuff like that. It could be little stuff for us, local guys, for training camp and everything, but Hard Knocks could be bigger. Like, ooh, they could blow it out of proportion. Will James Cook get his money? Will he show up? Can Mike White beat out Mitch Trubisky? Stuff like that we talked about earlier. So, hopefully we can get that all done and settled, and we'll figure it out. So, gotta stay tuned to this channel and hit like, subscribe. Till next time, guys. Good night.